What is up, nerds? Welcome back to, this is episode 49 of the Pickleball Pursuit podcast. I'm your host, Lewis, with Pickleball Pursuit, here with my co-host, Justin, my pickleball wife, the Oracle, my left side daddy, Justin from Pickleball, etc. How you doing, man?
Okay.
We've seen each other for a long time. We've been hanging out a lot.
Yeah. We basically spent 24/7 together.
24/7. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we got a lot.
It was fun, but see you next month.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. We got a lot to talk about. But for all of you guys who don't know, Justin and I have been traveling together, doing some event stuff for Selkirk. But yeah, man, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Why don't you kind of just run through what we're doing? Feels like it's been a long time since we've done this.
Yeah. Okay. Two things real quick. Yeah, it does feel like it's been forever since we recorded a podcast. You uploaded the interview with the Selkirk owners, which is kind of in the podcast universe, but we're not going to call that an episode.
Yeah, I wouldn't call that one.
You know what I mean?
It was kind of like, hey, let's just ask them questions about what they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you guys watch that, you'll see we had to be kind of, secretive because there were things we would love to talk about, we will talk about later, but they were still under embargo.
Yeah,
so
give us a little time.
That's why it might be a little boring, okay?
Yeah,
but hang with us. There's some nuggets in there. There's some interesting stuff.
For sure.
And the other thing is, next episode's episode 50. And Lewis and I were talking about this. We got to cook up something good for episode 50. We're still figuring it out. But hopefully we can get something interesting.
I was thinking about that yesterday. I was like, ooh, we got to find something. It's got to be good.
Yeah. So today, we're just going to get into a lot of paddles because we got to catch up on some paddles. It's basically going to be all paddles, and then we'll talk about the Boomstik and our Selkirk trip. Again, we may be limited on some tech specs and stuff, but we can talk about it in general for now. And then we'll talk about New Week, New Maine, and then in NERDTOWN, we're going to talk about something we had personal experience with. How does altitude affect pickleball? Or, your play of pickleball. So that'll be interesting. Quick note, I just said we're going to talk about a lot of paddles. You know what's crazy? I came home. I was gone for 9 days because I had some other trips right after Selkirk. And there was just a bunch of packages in my office, that my wife had stacked in here very kindly. I had 14 paddles.
Yeah.
14 paddles, yeah. So
wow.
Not all of those are
under NDA.
Maybe 9 or 8. Yeah, still a lot. Most of them.
Wow.
Yeah, and got a few more arriving this week, so a lot to catch up on. I did get a ball machine.
Very exciting.
So I'm happy I got that.
Oh yeah. You can be ripping.
I'm gonna need it.
You're gonna need to practice your two-hand backhand drops pretty heavily because you didn't hit a single two-hand backhand drop the entire time we were in Idaho.
No, that's not true. I hit one that was the best I've... maybe you weren't in this game.
Yeah.
But it was maybe you were sitting on the sideline. It was whenever we were playing at that facility. The indoor facility. I hit the best one I've ever hit in my life. Dang. It was a clean winner.
Wow.
So...
I don't remember that.
You're right. That's one out of 9 days. So we got some work to do. Some work to do.
So before we jump into paddles, just want to let everybody know, PP merch is here, guys. It is officially here. We've got this in the hands of some viewers, some supporters. This is, just so you guys can see, I'm going to move the mic real quick. A little Q-zip, baby. You got Zaddy mode, so you can show that skin, or if you've like Maddie Rutt has said, if you've gone through puberty, you'll just keep it, zipped all the way up. So
I'm a zipped up guy personally.
Yeah, I like it zip down. I like to show a little skin. But anyway, guys, this is on sale. It's available now. pbpursuit.com/shop if you want to make it a little quicker. But pbpursuit.com, you can go check these out. They are available right now. I actually had a previous version that I made that I didn't love. So I was like, I'm going to try to make something a little bit nicer. I don't want to just like make something that's okay. It would have been good enough. Yeah. I mean, you saw it. It was perfectly fine. fine shirt.
This
in
one's
person.
significantly better.
This one
the
is
new one.
way better, way nicer.
Yeah,
the
so-
fit, the I guess the zipper and whatnot is just a lot more in line with my style. And then I opted for the 3D silicone printed logo, which is kind of a nice touch. The lab has that on their hats. Kiwi Labs has that on one of their shirts, and just really one thing I've noticed with all like really high end performance apparel, it's like that's just such a nice little touch. It just makes it feel a little bit higher quality. But $36 I think is how much I have them up for sale, if I'm not mistaken. But decent price, a little bit cheaper than
nice
Stack or some of the other large brands. I wanted to make sure it was fairly affordable. But nonetheless, I think the quality is pretty much equivalent to what you get from Stack or other places.
Yeah, I
so
would agree.
I wouldn't say it's better, but I would say it's equivalent in terms of quality. They just have, in my opinion, better designs than me. So you haven't worn it, but what are your thoughts? I know you got it. Have you had a chance to take it out? Oh, okay, nice.
So I just got back from traveling, right? And so it's just been slammed in my suitcase, so it's super wrinkly. I was going to wear it, but I'll have to just wait and wash it and wear it a different day. But I did try it on everything. The fit is good, and the material's nice, and there's even like little perforations, So it's very performance oriented. It's definitely a shirt you could play in.
For sure.
And the fit
sleeves are a little bit more perforated than the actually no, they're all almost exactly. Yeah, it's all the same. My bad.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
So it actually feels a touch lighter than the Stack shirts, which I kind of like. And yeah, it's high quality. I like the zipper, felt good. It didn't feel like sticky or cheap or anything. And then the logo, the silicone print was nice. And the fit was not overly boxy, but almost like an athletic fit where it fits you like kind of wider, nice through the shoulders, and then just like straight down,
Yeah, it's definitely not like an oversized fit like
no, but it's like a touch long, which is a good thing.
Right. Yeah, I like it. I had to order these in the Asia sizing because you have to order like an insane, minimum order quantity for them to change it to US sizing on the tags. But I very clearly explain that in the description of the shirts. So if you're questioning what your size is, the sizing on the website when you purchase it is US sizing, and you will receive the shirt if you do end up purchasing it. It's going to be 2 sizes larger than what the American size is. So if that's, just want to make sure nobody's confused or like, what the heck, Lewis sent the wrong size.
You handed me a 2X.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? And then he was like, no, it's not really a 2X.
Yeah, 2X is a large.
It was a large.
3X is an
and
XL.
it fits like a large.
Yeah. But I would say they fit pretty true to size. Obviously some athletic clothes are slightly tighter than, your traditional, casual wear. So just expect that to be more in line with the athletic fit rather than like a kind of a loose, boxy fit. So won't go on too much longer, but if you guys would like to purchase one of these and show some support, I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. pbpursuit.com. So we're going to move on to some releases. I'm potentially going to get out a review for the Enhance Gen 4.5, which starts pre-order on August 1st. If I do remember, this is, I think it's 150 after code. Let me check real quick. I'll put up 155 after code Pursuit, and it is going to be available for pre-order August 1st. This is kind of that all court, slightly leaning towards power, just barely. Foam paddle. It does have the cavities in the face. Pretty good feel. Like, actually, I'm underselling it. It feels great, actually. One of the better feeling paddles. Pretty solid. Not overly dense, but gives you plenty of feedback and has very, very good spin. One thing that I noticed is I was able to shape the ball really well on drives, and it's just an easy, predictable paddle to play with. If you're looking for something that's better than, just a full slab of foam, but you don't want a power paddle, I think this is a great option for you if you like elongated shaped paddles that are just barely heavy. I would say it's just on the, tip of that, almost like getting into the too heavy range. 122 swing weight was what mine was. I don't know if you measured yours. Maybe yours is a little bit
121.
lighter. Yeah, so
121.
Just kind of on that upper end of like what most people like to deal with. So great paddle overall. I don't really have anything negative to say about it.
I feel like this is a paddle that if you used or are used to elongated, there's nothing offensive about it at all. It'd be easy to get along with.
Yeah,
it's a paddle that's super easy to pick up and play with. Now, if you're someone who's like, oh, I only play with light paddles, I play with standards, you would pick this up and be like, it's a bit too heavy, right? But if you play elongated already, it's a nice shape, handles long enough. The feel is good. It's definitely, a good balance of power and control. It's like pet peeve saying, but it truly is because it's an all court paddle. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I do think the spin is good and the ball contact feel is really good, especially, for a foam paddle. Some of the original foam paddles that like the Blue Core and the 008, the feel's not great. You know? So
definitely an upgrade on those two.
Solid. Yeah,
for a much better price. Much better price too.
Yeah.
So, Wild Thing. This came out when we were gone. Oh wait, that's the Psycho. Where the hell did I put the Wild Thing?
Here it is.
Anyway, Justin's got the Wild Thing.
Pretty subtle.
If you are a Shogun or Filth user and you just want just a touch more pop, slightly different feel, a little bit crisper, this is the perfect option for you. If you're looking for like the ultimate power paddle, this ain't it. This is for somebody who wants just slightly more powerful Shogun or bread and butter Filth paddle and just really loves that bread and butter, look and kind of branding. So gets good spin, has actually a very maneuverable elongated shape paddle. One of the more maneuverable ones. I measured it with 3 grams of tungsten, and I think it was a 116. So I think
mine was 116 stock.
Yeah,
so you got a light one, but still 116 stock is light for an elongated.
Very, it is quick in the hand. It's a good looking paddle. The design is kind of more minimal than previous bread and butter paddles, but overall, it's kind of just one of those non-offensive, just good performing paddles. I kind of would put it in the same realm as that enhanced paddle, but obviously
more pop.
Yeah,
maybe same power from the baseline, but more crisp, like pop.
That's a good point. Yeah, but still in that like same, it's a paddle that can meet the needs of a lot of people as long as you're not looking for that top tier power. So, like this one a lot. Just didn't have enough time to get around to it, for a review. But overall, positive
this
things.
Feels almost like a modernized Shogun in a way.
Yeah.
We talked about how the scale moves, through time. Like what used to be a power paddle isn't a power paddle anymore. It's almost like the Shogun used to be an all court paddle, but it almost feels like a control paddle these days.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So as the scale moved up and paddles have gotten more powerful, the Wild Thing has come in and is in a way reminiscent of the Shogun, but with a bit crisper feel and more pop. And weighted the same. The power from the baseline might be similar, but this definitely has more pop. But in something I think smart that they did, and we've talked about this before, is the titanium or PET. Basically, that is a 3K twill carbon fiber, with the little PET polyester threads woven in there to make it look cool. Well, this is just 3K carbon fiber, which looks a little bit more stealth and actually has a very similar feel to the titanium or PET. It's basically, very similar. Yeah. So in the Shogun has the PET, this has a 3K carbon fiber. You kind of get the same thing, but this has fiberglass in it. But yeah, really solid. And I like that it comes in light. This is probably something that most people or enthusiasts would want to customize once they get it. But
yep.
And if you see the belt, I don't know if you guys can see the belt back there, but my partner, Right Side Will, he played the Bread and Butter Nerdy Tourney with this.
Yep.
Just first time. Just first thing. He was like, fine, I'll play with that.
Yeah.
He put 9 grams on each side, but that's it. That was a bit heavy, but yeah, he was hitting bombs with it, dude.
Yeah, I still have PTSD from that final. Yeah, that was one of my
Bombs.
worst games of blocking in a long time, and he just
Yeah, poor Lewis.
he just violated me.
And then we got a little lucky that my drives were on because you guys were like, "Don't return to him, return to me." And then my drives were pretty good too. So.
Yeah, your drives did. Yeah, you did definitely. Pick up the slack, if you will. But yeah, good paddle. Code Pursuit will save you some cash when purchasing this Wild Thing, and expecting to see some more paddles coming out soon. I really like the Wild Thing. Obviously, we have the Psycho potentially coming out soon, so more things from B&B. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna move on to. I forgot to put this one in here, but this is the Chorus Phoenix.
Oh, yeah. I don't have mine on me. It's
I
my bag.
completely forgot to put this in the show notes, but man, this paddle is very intriguing. Kind of feels like a Paddletech 12.7 with a sweet spot, which is a really good place to be. Tons of pop, tons of power, and just rips spin. This paddle, really, really liked it. I played with this in a tournament right before I went to Selkirk, and I was struggling with it a little bit because it is pretty damn poppy. This is going to be a paddle that, in my opinion, this is a big upgrade on the Fires.
Yes.
Not just
definitely.
because it may be, I guess a different feel is probably the most important thing. I wouldn't say it's like necessarily more powerful or more poppy because the Fires were pretty hot. Mine was not as hot as my Fires were not as hot as the some of the other ones that got out there to reviewers. But this reminds me a lot of it, but with a significantly more ideal feel. The Fires had a pretty rigid feedback and, a very, good amount of feedback with that top layer of fiberglass. This is this T300 as the top layer? But I know it's CFC. I can't remember what the top layer is. But
I'm pretty sure it's T300. I think it's called in their marketing material either soft carbon or flexible carbon.
Yeah.
I think what that translates to is T300 because probably trying to stay away from the stigma that is developed that T300 is inferior to T700.
Yeah.
Really, you're talking about the modulus of carbon fiber. It's not necessarily inferior. But so I think the purpose of calling it soft carbon or flexible carbon is just to say that it's a little bit more flexible, a little bit softer feeling than T700, which it is. But it is likely T300. I don't know that for certain.
This one is going to sit really kind of firmly in the middle of the power category. I don't know if you've hit yours yet.
Yeah, I played a lot with it.
Yeah, it hits the ball pretty damn hard. I was very impressed with this. Loved the feel of it. It's kind of like a very similar to the Paddletech feel, where it's like you can feel it dwell, but also it's like kind of like
a pop.
Yeah, it's like a real fast, hard, feedback off the face. So, pairing this with a very, very, very good shape. These all the shapes from Chorus are very ideal. Long handle. The only thing that Justin and I don't think is perfect about them is they just taper just slightly, but not the biggest of deals.
On that one, the HX shape, the taper of those doesn't bother me too much because it's not too bad. But when you go down to Chorus's SX, they're like wide body. I feel like the taper is super heavy.
Yeah,
but that's beside the point. I think there's a couple things to say about that paddle. Pretty sure the planned release date is August 22nd, but is it still pending USAP approval?
Yeah, we're still waiting on approval.
So that's a key thing there.
Yeah, thank you for reminding me. Yeah, you never know. 10 millimeter Corcels was another thing that we forgot to say in the construction itself. But
here's my comparison.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, and I told you this, and after you played with it, and you're like, "Oh yeah, I think you're right." It kind of feels like a Gen 3 version of the Neonic Flare Prime X.
Yes. Yeah.
The playability is like very similar, but the ball feel is more Gen 3 feeling. So you kind of get that foamy, bouncy dwell sort of feel. But and I think it has the same pop, but I think the Phoenix has more power from the baseline than the Flare Prime X. So it kind of feels like in a way, like a modernized Gen 3 version of the
Yeah.
Neonic Flare Prime X, which is a paddle we both loved.
Quite a bit.
But yeah.
Yeah.
So
We were shilling out.
when
for
I picked that
paddle.
one up, it was easy. I know. Yeah, I played with it again the other day, and I was like, man, paddles have come a long way.
Yeah.
It's still a great paddle, but
Oh yeah. No,
it's not the main anymore.
It's like once the J2 lineup from Honolulu, the foam lineups from Honolulu came out, it's like that's when just like all of a sudden this massive amounts of paddles came out that were just like elite, like just
Top tier.
yeah, totally different. But yeah, this paddle's also extremely maneuverable. So I weighted it up with about 5 grams. Just ignore this top 1.5 inch. I did 5 grams of 0.5 gram per inch tungsten tape, or maybe I think I did. Hold on, maybe I did 4 grams. But anyway, it was still at a like 107 swing weight with that much weight on it. It was crazy.
The stock stats are crazy good.
Yeah,
like it's a 14 millimeter paddle and a hybrid. And it's very light, like under 8 ounces. And I'm pretty sure that my stock twist weight was like already 6.7 or 6.6, which is like crazy high.
Yeah.
So yeah, after I put some weight on mine, I didn't even like weigh it. I just played with it, and it felt pretty good. I would probably still put more weight on it. And then I checked it again, and it was like only 8.1 ounces, and it was like 110 swing weight, 7.2 twist weight with like just a little bit of weight. So the metrics are very, very good. Fingers crossed it passes. It's a great paddle, and Chorus has been known for having more value than the bigger brand, so I don't expect this to be $250. I don't know the price, but yeah. Or if I read it somewhere, I don't remember. But
yeah, I can't remember. I now had to. I just completely forgot about that, and then right when we started recording, I was like, oh, we gotta talk about this. But anyway, we'll move on to the GX2 Power Hybrid. Which is the first hybrid from Gearbox. Now, this is an updated, I guess, construction on the... Do you need to change that?
What?
Discord?
Oh, you're here in Discord?
Yeah, you're good. No worries. But,
Stop Discording me, everybody.
yeah. All right, we're back. Gearbox GX2 Power. This is the hybrid shape. Justin and I have played with this quite a bit. Justin's model's coming in. We got to play with Rafa, Pickleball Tech dudes, up in Idaho, and just to kind of, jump the gun. This paddle's pretty badass. Like this is
so good, actually.
Very good paddle. Reminded me totally different feel, but the playability was so similar to the J2 NF. Feels so different.
Yeah, you're right. Completely different feel.
Yeah, but the playability and just the way you shape the ball and just the expected velocity that you're getting off the face and predictability, so similar. Such a good paddle. I really don't have anything negative to say about this yet. I've probably played about 10 games with it. I would say this is Chris and I talked a little bit. He was saying that this is more powerful than the Yola Pro 4s. I was like, bro, you're out of your mind. They're not even close.
Yeah, I didn't think that either.
Not even close to Pro 4. He's like, well, it breaks in, so just like be prepared. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. I was like, I've played, I can't remember 5-6 games with this, maybe, with this model, and it is not remotely close to the Pro 4s.
Yeah.
Now, it's
I'm with you.
100% a power paddle. I would say it's just barely above like maybe the Bantam or the 11624 paddles, but even then, that's an excellent spot to be.
Yeah.
Very good paddle.
I played
predictable.
Like 4 games with them.
I like it a lot. Much more feel than the GX2 originals. So, Justin, what are your thoughts, man?
Yeah, so I only played 4 games, and I played that between Boro and Rafa's and then yours. So both of which were new.
Yeah.
So had like less than 20 games on them, or less than 10 games maybe. So, but I'm with you in that the amount of pop, the amount of power, and then the cool part is how much control you still have with that amount of pop and power was very similar to the NF, the J2 NF.
Yeah.
As in, the J2NF maybe on the versus a brand new GX2 is a touch more firepower, but it's extremely close. But the ball feels totally different. The NF's kind of stiff and has a little bit of that fiberglassy feel, which is fine. Some people really love that. This GX2 has like the GX2 Power has like this crazy, pocketing feel, which is plush, right? And I put quotes around that because it's a weird word that maybe we need to get away from. But so yeah, the shaping on serves and drives. We played a day where we were kind of all rotating through a few of the top power paddles and kind of comparing. And then the game that I switched to that GX2 Power, like my drives were just immediately dipping so much harder.
Yeah.
Maybe a touch less pace than the top tier power paddles we were playing with before that, but better drives overall because you could just control the dip so much more.
Yeah.
So super easy to play with, a very good paddle. Mine's getting delivered today. I'm actually really looking forward to it. My only complaint, and this is going to sound very similar to the J2NF, is the handle's a touch short,
Just barely. It's
like,
much better than the J2. Much better.
Yes.
But yeah.
It's like, okay, picture this, between the J2 handle and the Invader handle. That's like where it lands.
Right in between those.
Which
That's
for me, the Invader handle is like, like it's still not perfect, but I'm like, this is good enough.
Yeah.
That being a little less than that, I'm like, I could probably get used to it because I forced myself to get used to the J2 since those paddles are so good.
Yeah.
But it's not immediately comfortable like some paddles are. For me.
Yeah.
People hate on me all the time because I say handles are too short, and they're like, what? It's fine. Well,
all right.
Big boy, okay.
Real quick. Power. This versus the NF. I would say the NF slightly more powerful, slightly more poppy. What would you say?
Before break-in.
Before break-in, yeah.
We don't know if it breaks in, but if we're talking just a new out of the box, yes, I'd give the slight edge to the NF. Very slight.
Yeah.
And then, but the cool thing about both of those paddles, the NF series, the FC Plus, and then now the GX2 Power, is that they're some of the first paddles to have that level of power and pop while maintaining a higher level of controllability than you would expect.
Absolutely.
Like the soft game is not hard with that paddle at all.
Not at all. It is not the boingy, bouncy feel that you, have known in the past with the Pro Power and Pro Ultimate series. Very much a way more predictable paddle. And these are on pre-order right now. I forgot to say that. But Code Pursuit, I think it brings them to 262, if I'm not mistaken. So very, very good paddle. Very promising.
Good metrics.
Yeah, great.
Especially for Gearbox.
Great stock out the box. I think mine was like 113, 6.6, I think was the twist
Solid
weight.
for a hybrid.
Yeah. But, very easily modifiable to be a much more stable and forgiving paddle. Even though we played with Rafas with no weight, and that was shockingly stable. Even though, the twist weight was lower than you expected.
We put weight on it eventually.
Eventually, yeah.
And it definitely, for my preferences, needed it and played a lot better with it. But it was
100%.
okay stock.
Yeah. All right, so GX2 Power Hybrid, awesome. I haven't played with the elongated. I'm kind of already out on the elongated because it has that 5.3-inch handle, same exact length with the hybrid. So hate that shape. I just hate a short handle elongated paddle. I don't know what it is. I just can't get over it.
Clunky.
It's very clunky. The balance point's too low on those. It just feels weird. So I'll play with it obviously and let you guys know how it plays. I'm sure it is also an excellent paddle if it plays anything like the hybrid. So we're going to move on to a couple of quick hits. Just got in a few paddles. The Thrive Fury. This is Thrive's new Gen 3 float. They're calling it a floating core, but it's not really a floating core. It's just it's almost identical to the Yolas in terms of it. It kind of starts at the bottom corners, goes all the way around, and then stops. And they do also have, let me pull out the sheet. It's a nice little sheet here. They have internal weighting core technology. So it's 3 grams put in this like kind of bottom corner. Very similar to the Yolas. Not sure what this looks like on an X-ray, but I'm sure it would be slightly different than the Yola Pro 4 paddles. But polypropylene core and hybrid shape. Mine was 113, sorry, 112.5 swing weight and a 6.4 twist weight. So this paddle is 15.5 millimeters thick. I'm not sure if they are accurately, like, just calling this, because Justin, you said this a million times. Most are anywhere between 15.5 and 16 millimeters that are a 16 millimeter.
Most 16 millimeter paddles, if you get out the calipers, are between 15.5 and 15.8.
Yeah.
The reason for that is because the mold they put them in is exactly machined to 16 millimeters, but then you add a sheet of peel ply on each side. So there you've taken up 0.3 to 0.5 millimeters of space. So now you compress the paddle itself down to 15.5 to 15.8. I mean, I'm here for it. If they say they measured them out of the mold and say it's 15.5, then claim it. Sure. That type of advertising, unless you're, Paddle Tech and they say 12.7 and their stuff is like bang on 12.7 or 14.3. Other than that, like when people say 14 or 16, as long as it's give or take a little bit of tolerance, I think it's fine. It's just easier to market it that way.
Got some good news
if someone chooses... What?
This is 16.23 by 7.75. So it is almost bang on the full allowable dimensions.
Is it the Flash
Thrive.
double black diamond shape?
Yeah, it's very similar, but let me pull the Flash out real quick. If I'm not mistaken, the Flash is a little tiny bit shorter. Yeah, just like maybe a millimeter or two shorter than this. And then the width, let's see how they're comparing.
Oh, I can see the corners are a little bit different radius too.
Yeah, just slightly. So I mean,
it's slightly different, but it's still
almost
tapers
identical.
on the side, right?
Yeah, almost identical. We're talking about millimeters in difference. But yeah, it does taper on the side. Let's see how much that taper is too, real quick, just for your little nerd brain. 7.6. So a good, tenth of an inch and some change that it tapers. So very similar to the double black diamond, Flash, really any catalog hybrid shape that you see on the market that's not the, Invader or the J2 and Kiwi Labs hybrid. So, and Groovin, sorry. Those are like one of the 4 or so hybrids that are actually unique. And obviously now the GX2.
There are more, but
GX2. Yeah. So I love seeing unique shapes. I like when people kind of just change, just slight changes, slight iterations. Makes me happy. So $199 will be the price on this. I'll test it out, but just bouncing the ball on the face feels exactly like the YOLO Pro 4. Exactly. And honestly, it's not a bad thing, because the YOLO Pro 4 smacks the ball. And this is
kind of an industry-leading paddle right now.
$80 cheaper. So if it plays like a hybrid shape Pro 4, that's a big win, because that's something people have been really asking for. The Hyperion, although it is hybrid length, it is elongated width, so it doesn't really perform as forgivingly as a true hybrid shape. So I'll be testing this out. Very interesting to see how it does. So moving on. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. You may recognize this shape, Justin.
A hybrid with a longer handle.
The Mark 1X R2. This is the first, right? This was the first long handle elongated. Okay, yeah. But 5.75 inches. This is the hybrid shape for any of you who are newer-ish listeners. Justin used to work at Mark and developed the shape. So
it wasn't that complex, but
we
were like, hey, everyone loves the hybrid shape, but the handle's kind of short. This is when the Flash and double black diamond were really popular. So we were like, I think there's a market for this hybrid shape, but with a little bit longer handle. So
which it was fun paddle for sure. So I'll be testing this out as well. I'm sure it's going to sit identically to the Mark II R2, which is kind of a all court, slightly leaning power paddle, CFC layup, thermoform, 10 millimeter core cells, and gritty as hell, dude. These things
looks good too.
Gritty. Yeah, it's a good looking paddle. Definitely, the rebrand was obviously clearly the catalyst for just a really really sharp looking design. So well done for Mark. It's got this kind of almost feels like it's like a edge guard tape on the edge guard, but it's really just like the white paint with the the logos and whatnot. So good looking paddle. Should check this out, but I have a pretty solid feeling that I know how it's going to play. It's that all court leaning power. So good looking paddle. I can't remember what the price is on those, but I'll put it on the bottom for you guys to check out. So moving on, another quick one we're going to just touch on is the Hudef Apex Supercritical foam. So Justin, you kind of talked about this a while ago. This is dual 100% thermoform core and molded flat handle. They do use slightly soft pallets on this, so I'm not sure if that's actually fully molded handle. But why don't you talk about Supercritical foam real quick, just so everybody knows and can have a little reminder on that. Standard shape.
So that's what I was going to say. A couple things paddle specific, and then I'll tell you what Supercritical foam means. This one that I got says 8.4 ounces on it, and then my swing weight was like 118.
8.5, dude. 8.5. Yeah, it feels hefty. This is a hefty
I didn't
boy.
even realize it was a standard shape, and then I measured and I was like, "Whoa, that's kind of high for standard." But
yeah,
we'll see. We'll see actually how it plays. So that's the things about the paddle. But yeah, the pallets I'm not a big fan of. They're very rounded, very squishy. But that's okay. If I love the paddle, I'll just swap them out. So Supercritical foam. We talked about this maybe in a NERDTOWN a while back. So foam can be made a few different ways, but just think about it. It's a polymer that air gets injected into. It foams up. Essentially, there are bubbles inside of the material, and that's what makes it into foam. We're all used to that. You can imagine what a sponge looks like. You can imagine what tearing anything foam looks like. You could see the bubbles or the structure. Within that, there is closed cell and open cell structures, different types of foam. But all supercritical means is that the foaming agent, essentially the gas that is blown into the polymer, can usually be carbon dioxide or nitrogen, or there's probably a couple other supercritical foaming agents, but those are the two most common. The reason why that's important, there are two main reasons why it's important. Number one, it's actually more friendly for the environment compared to the chemical foaming agents that are normally used. To just use carbon dioxide or nitrogen, those are just like standard gases that are found in the atmosphere. So the off-gassing in the process is more environmentally friendly. And secondly, when you do supercritical foaming, and this is really popular in running shoes and like high-performance running shoes, you can actually get a lighter foam with more energy return than a traditional foaming process. It's not 100% the case across the board, but that is the advantage. And you can see why that matters, like I said, in running shoes, because you want them to be as light as possible. You want them to give as much energy return as possible. In shoes, the trade-off is normally that foam wears down faster, obviously because it's less dense and it's lighter, so it flattens out. But if you're going out to run a marathon and you want your personal best, you're okay with, kind of getting a brand new pair of shoes or, using them just for a short amount of time to get your personal best and then being done with them. How does that translate to paddles? We don't know yet. So, I assume the density has to be high, just as high as it would in a normal foam, even though it's supercritical foam, because we have deflection tests in pickleball, so it can't be, super low density. Not to mention the stock weights of these are quite high. So, unless there's some crazy layup that has, more layers than usual, that stock weight is usually going to tell you kind of what is the density of the foam. So I imagine it'll be higher density. Does that negate the, positive effects you normally get from supercritical in that it gives more energy return at lower density? We don't know yet because I haven't played it. Literally just got home and it was here. One of the 14 paddles that arrived. So looking forward to trying it. And props to them for, going in that direction. I assume others will. But I will say that supercritical foam in general is a higher cost alternative and normally considered a higher performance in other industries. So it's a cool direction to go. Definitely worth trying. And I look forward to see how it plays.
Yeah, interesting paddle for sure. Slightly shorter handle, which is kind of my gripe with this paddle. And obviously it's pretty head heavy stock. So 8.5 ounces. I don't really ever care about stock weights. My boomstick that I got was 8.4. So it's just kind of one of those things that don't really put too much weight onto. No pun intended. But yeah, still hefty boy.
Interesting though. At least we're doing something different.
Yeah, for sure. Unique paddle. Can't wait to test it out and see how it feels compared to our traditional EPPs that we've been rocking these past few weeks. So, J2NF. This is not the long handle, but something a lot of people will probably thoroughly enjoy. This is a stealth version. I think they have these on sale.
I haven't seen this.
So minimal branding, just kind of has that sword and shield holographic, emblem in the center of the face with some very minimal branding kind of on the side. Gives you all the information. Honolulu Pickleball Company, sword and shield J2NF, 16 millimeter, and then towards the bottom here, it kind of gives you all the other specs and USAP approval stamps and whatnot. So, unique looking paddle for something that people constantly crap on Honolulu for is their design. So maybe this will appease the haters.
Seen that yet.
Yeah, good looking paddle. I'm pretty sure it's available online to purchase. So, yeah, NF long handle will be here very soon this week. I'm chomping at the bit to play with those. So we're going to move on to another quick hit. This is the C45 Paris Todd signature paddle. This is kind of a unique paddle. It's 13.5 millimeters. 13.25 millimeters thick. So slightly thinner than the original C45s. This also has a slightly shorter handle. They say it's pretty long, but it's really just like a nice taper in the neck that doesn't make it feel quite as long. But it's a little shorter than the Dynasty as well as the hybrid shape. So nothing that's too big of a problem. Did you get one of these, Justin?
No.
No, okay. Couldn't remember if you got one of these or not. But anyway, similar to the original C45, the hybrid shape, almost unplayable out of the box in the stock form. Some people can do it, like our boy Marcus. He played with the stock C45. Shout out to Marcus. Lunatic, absolute lunatic, playing with a stock C45. Super nice guy. Great meeting you, Marcus. But yeah, maybe only you are the only people in the world who are going to be able to play with this paddle stock. But I know if it's anything like the hybrid shape, it'll be very easy. This is crazy light. I think mine was in the low 100s in terms of swing weight. And that will give you plenty of room to add some tungsten weighted tape. Again, this is like slightly shorter than elongated and kind of that elongated width. So kind of a goofy
I was bummed about
dimensions.
The shape because I love purple.
Yeah, I know. Kind of a goofy shape. So, those will be coming out in mid-August. So we'll talk about those more as it gets closer. So, all right, on to the meat and potatoes. The Boomstik, baby, from Selkirk. Justin and I spent a long time.
You want me to do an unboxing for the people?
Oh yeah, let's get a little unboxing in this.
Let's do an unboxing for the people because I have a Boomstik package.
Let's get it, baby.
Boom.
Oh, stick.
If anybody saw the 007, this is similar. Basically, James Bond style briefcase.
Yeah.
So this just came in. I'll slam my mic a little bit for you guys.
Please. Yeah. Hurt the headphone users' ears.
Yes. Ooh. Okay. Here we go.
Wow.
Here it is. This is like a nice case,
Oh, yeah.
And in here, check this out. This is like, it's so over the top. It's kind of funny.
It's
like ridiculous. A velour little case. Inside of this, by the way, a full carbon fiber card.
Bro, those used to be metal. They switched to carbon fiber recently.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is real carbon fiber.
Yeah.
This says Boomstik on one side, it says Labs. And then this is just like the certificate of authenticity, right? Mm-hmm. Which is pretty cool. There are some, marketing pieces in here about Infinigrits and the MOI tuning system, which we can't get into the details of until August 5th, but that's what it is. And then it says like the inspection and the weight. This one's 8.2 ounces. This is the wide body shape. And then, of course, you got the paddle itself, which there's a little sticker on there, but I won't read the details yet because I don't want us to get in trouble.
Yeah. I don't know.
It talks about some of the tech on
what
the
we
paddle.
can say. Yeah.
I know August 5th is the date when we're like fully released to talk about whatever. But so yeah, that's the standard shape, which was here waiting for me at home whenever I got here, which is awesome because I had the elongated that we got in Idaho.
Nice.
But yeah, so I'm pretty sure it's like the first 1,000 orders or something get this packaging experience.
Dang.
I could be off on that, but I'm pretty sure that's what we heard. But yeah, I don't know. What am I going to use this for now? You know, I'm not going to walk up to the court with my paddle in it, but
bro, you
this
should.
is a nice case. Like, gotta, you know what I mean?
Elite status
Upcycle
symbol,
this into
baby.
something cool.
Yeah.
So,
All right. Well, for anybody who did not watch my first impressions of the Boomstik, this paddle absolutely kills the ball. It is the elite of the elites in terms of power and pop. Very reminiscent of the Flick F1 TerraCore from Body Helix. Quite a different playing experience for a multitude of reasons, which I won't go too far into just because of embargo details. But just know this paddle smacks the ball. Has a great shape. One of the best elongated shapes on the market. And
their wide body shape is awesome too. Same as the flare shape.
Nice long handle. Just they didn't really, as you guys know, we kind of have been pretty critical, for good reasons of Selkirk and in the past, and they've really turned it around as of recently with the SLK era paddles. And really, I mean, the Halo Pro was kind of like their first paddle where it's like, oh, okay, things are changing. Like they're starting to, get with the times. This is one of the first ones that comes out and it's like, oh, this is like potentially one of the most advanced paddles on the market.
Industry leading, yeah.
Industry leading, yes. So, really like this paddle. I'll talk about more, once the
I think we can talk about,
out.
because it's been around for a while. This is not unique to this, but it does have Infinigrit.
Yes.
Infinigrit's been out since the 007, which not many people played with the 007 because it wasn't awesome. Okay, it wasn't awesome.
It was not great.
So we weren't able to
we
really.
Were very nice about on the interview. I was like, not many people play with that paddle.
Yeah, so we didn't really get to test the Infinigrit. Yeah. Most people didn't because you'd have to put a significant amount of time on the 007.
Yeah.
That said, it's here again on the Boomstik, and everyone already knows. You guys have seen that they did a lot of in-house lab testing on the Infinigrit, which is persuasive, to be honest. But we have to talk about the subjective playability. I'll tell you that we played a lot of hours on ours.
Yeah,
and
a lot.
The spin is good, and I will say that like for the 10 hours of play, I think it did wear less than I would expect a raw carbon to wear in 10 hours.
Yeah.
So we'll continue to test that, but I have, actually high hopes for the Infinigrit now that I have a paddle that I'm actually using it a lot on. Put it that way.
And just to give you guys some insight on what Selkirk are saying is based on their testing, which I trust them because they showed us all their testing measurements.
We got to see the testing.
Literally, we got to watch them test paddles and then showcase all the different. Did they use CT scans to measure the peaks and valleys of grit?
Yes. No, the big CT scan machine was to like look at the core different parts of the core.
What did they use to measure the peaks and valleys of the face?
Oh man, I can't remember the nerdy word, but it's essentially like 3D imaging. It's like microscopic 3D imaging. There's a word for it, y'all. I'm sorry, I'm not remembering it right now. But it shows the entire area, and you can move around, and you can kind of look at the, topographical map of the face, if you will.
Yeah, and to kind of elaborate why I was bringing that up is they showcase that testing their own paddles with the traditional peel ply versus Infinigrit, and with the same amount of wear testing. This 3x'd the longevity in their testing. So
it's a pretty safe number.
Yeah,
too.
we'll see.
I mean, it's probably more than 3x
Yeah.
durability, longevity. And you guys may have seen this graph because it's been out since InfiniGrit was initially launched, but both raw carbon, which is like epoxy peel ply grit, and the FiniGrit both lose a little off the top right away. But it's like the path of the epoxy loses and then keeps going and then levels out down here ish, which we know where it levels out. It's pretty smooth. Whereas the InfiniGrit drops initially and then kind of levels out significantly higher.
Yeah.
And then is only very slowly going down. And then by the time it gets to the same low level that the raw carbon got to pretty quickly, it's more than 3 times the duration of play. So it's more than 3 times as durable.
Yeah. And also add
from
to
the
that,
testing, it looks accurate.
Yeah,
And to say it looks accurate.
To add to that, Braden also did some testing with that. He had an independent play tester use the paddle, and he checked in on it, and he found, like, I'm not sure exactly what the numbers are. You'd have to go back and listen to it. It's one of his previous podcasts, but basically it was, kind of confirmed that finding from Selkirk that it was a much higher floor. It was not degrading nearly as much as the traditional, peel ply textures, which is huge because grit is something that no one has, an issue that no one has tackled apart from Reload. And, with PPA banning removable parts on a paddle face, makes them pretty much useless for professional play, which sucks. So this is a nice step in the right direction, and I hope to see other companies, adopt this kind of R&D and make something that maybe performs even better than this. So, Boomstik's awesome. Anything else you want to touch on the Boomstik before we talk about the event?
I'm looking forward to being able to talk in full. Like August 5th is that date, because there are some interesting things going on. And there are some interesting things going on that I don't even know yet. I just can know they're interesting from playing with the paddle. And what I do know about it, there's some missing pieces that I'm like, I can't wait to learn.
Can't wait to find out. Yeah, we don't even know what this looks like internally. They wouldn't even give us like the full details of the breakdown. So we're just as in the dark as everybody else. So
we've been nothing but critical of Selkirk paddles for years. So I think hopefully it's a strong endorsement for the playability of the paddle that you and I are both like, it's very good.
It is top tier power paddle. Like, if it's not, number 1, it's number 2 or number 3. There's no way it's, falling down worse than that. I'll have to compare it to the Flick, which in my mind right now is the number 1 power paddle, just because elite longevity with the foam core, and the pop is unmatched legally. Power is up there with the best of them. So, and the spin is just ridiculous on the Flick. So, all right, let's talk Selkirk trip. We met a lot of people. For anybody who didn't watch the Selkirk interview, just so you know, here's the quick and dirty. Selkirk invited us down there for a media event, which was,
I said up there.
Up there, yeah, up
basically
there.
in Canada.
Yeah, we were basically in Canada. Yeah, beautiful Coeur d'Alene. Oh my gosh! If you haven't been to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, and you are within a pretty quick flight of it, or just want to go somewhere beautiful with mountains in the summer, highly recommend it. Beautiful place. Yeah. So they invited us up there, and we were getting a lot of information. We went on some tours of their facilities, saw all their R&D, all their testing measurements, and just kind of seeing how that company operates as a whole, which was, all the other podcasters that went, a couple months ago didn't really do it justice when they said it is very impressive how big this operation is. Selkirk is pretty big, quite a big company. I was not expecting that, but we also, in addition to touring their facilities, played in a little reviewer or influencer tournament, which we'll talk about in a minute. And then the next day we interviewed Rob and Mike Barnes, and then we headed out. We did a lot more than that, but we played a little pickleball after that. But we'll start from the top. As far as the whole entire event itself, what was your most memorable moment?
I mean, well, okay, I'm gonna do two again. I did this for bread and butter because I have like my personal versus the trip related, so Selkirk related, right? So for me personally, man, you just touched on it, but dude, I love the mountains. I love nature. We talked about this on the podcast. I camp all the time. I mountain bike. So for me, we got into Coeur d'Alene, and it's just coming from Texas in the summer. I got on the plane in Dallas.
Yeah.
And it said, I looked at my phone, it said 97 feels like 107. That's what it said. And then when we landed, I was like, I'm checking the weather. It said 72 feels like 72. And I was like, oh my God. So
we're in heaven.
We drive to the Uber. And for me, it was like a first impression would be my most memorable, because right at the back of our hotel, there's like this walking path. And you guys had already gotten there, but you were chilling and stuff. So I was like, you know what? I'm about to just go for a walk. I didn't know where I was walking to. I didn't look at a map. I just walked down this path out the back of the hotel. It smells amazing. It's beautiful. And then like before you know it, I end up walking down to what is like the river boardwalk. And it was like incredibly landscaped, really beautiful. And then I just like took a walk along the river that leads down to, the lake down there. It was quite active. But yeah, it was just, shockingly beautiful. And we joked about this quite a few times on the trip, but we were like, man, how do we get rich enough to have summer houses? Because Lewis lives in Louisiana. I live in Texas. The summers are brutal.
Horrible.
Just uncomfortable walking from your car to the store or your car to the house or whatever, right?
You sweat immediately.
To be somewhere where we were going to get coffee every morning at 7 and it would be like, I don't know, 60, 62. You just pop on a hoodie. It was beautiful.
I had to go buy a long sleeve shirt because I didn't realize it was going to be that cold. I mean, not
we
cold,
did not
but
pack
that cool.
appropriately.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it was perfect. Like we'd go get coffee, go for a walk. It was beautiful. And then just what a high of 78. We played outside at 5 p.m. and it felt perfect. And I was like, dude, you can't do this at home.
Yeah.
So
we were barely.
So that's my personal thing.
Yeah.
For the Selkirk business part, trying to think of what I can and can't say. For me, what really left a lasting impression was the competence of everyone who is in a major role there, right? So I'll list a couple people. Of course, Mike and Rob Barnes, like they know their stuff and they actually know pickleball.
Yeah.
And they clearly know business. Dana, their head engineer, who's like over the labs and the testing, man, she's just so clearly the smartest person in the room. Yeah. It's just so clear she's the smartest person in the room. She's also very kind and clearly very enthusiastic about what she's doing.
Oh, yeah.
And the gear, the tech, like the actual testing machinery is impressive, of course. But if you don't have people who are extremely competent in using it and, drawing conclusions from it and then designing from that, then it's useless, right? It's just tests. So for me, it was... the competence of everybody, like I said, who was in a major role, and all these people seem to actually be enthusiastic and competent, which is really cool. And I know they're probably putting on a good face for us because it's a tour, but it seemed extremely genuine across the board. And this, I'm about to say something, disclaimer, this is going to sound arrogant, right? So, but I'm just going to say it because I told you this, I told Rob and Mike this. This is just honestly how I felt, but it's going to sound arrogant. So I know this. But at the end of the trip, talking to them, I was like, man, this is the first pickleball company that I've gotten to see sort of behind the curtain, which I'm lucky to have seen behind a lot of curtains, where I'm just like, yep, can't help you. Like I have nothing to offer you, which as you guys know is like my main job. Like I am a consultant for business development, product development for pickleball companies. Every single company I've talked to, there's always been like, okay, I see where there are some holes or maybe some things lacking. Like I can help you in this way. But seeing what we saw, and we got to tour all the facilities for multiple days and meet everybody, I was just like, yeah, there's nothing. So to me,
Yeah.
like I get that sounds arrogant, but that's also the highest compliment I can pay to a business because it's my job to look for deficiencies, and I couldn't find any.
Yeah, I said this on the Boomstick first impression video, but if you haven't seen it, the most surprising thing to me before I get into the my favorite moments was they had an answer for every question we had. Never have we been.
People were trying to catch him out.
Yeah, never have we been at an event like that where every question we have is answerable, and at the very least answerable. But they went into grave detail as to why that answer was that. It wasn't just like, oh, we did that because blank. It was like, no, we did that because X, Y, Z, and that's gonna change this and that. And it was just painfully obvious that there was no stones left unturned with really anything that they are currently doing going forward. So pretty impressive stuff. So, and then also, man, Dana, the genius wizard tester, engineer. Yeah. Stupid old dumb idiot, illiterate me, asked a question and she was like, ooh, that's a really good question. I was like, hell yeah, it is. And I looked around, I was like, I'm not that stupid. That wasn't my most memorable moment, but that was up there. That one made me feel real good. But yeah, most memorable moment was just kind of collectively. It's just how nice and normal those people were. There was no chip on their shoulder. There was no we're better than y'all nose ups. It was
very
just
down to earth.
Very normal people. Rob came and sat by me at dinner and was just talking about random things in life. Like, it wasn't like, hey, Lewis, what do you think about this paddle? How do you think about it? No, we were talking about like our kids and growing up and, all kinds of different just normal things. I was like, this is weird. Like, I feel...
they're super down to earth.
Yeah, weird in a good way, obviously. But obviously, another favorite moment was just hanging out with everybody. Matt from Dink and Drive literally was like willing to chauffeur us around the entire city, have us over at his house and hang out and whatnot. And super nice guy. If you haven't checked out Dink and Drive, go check him out. Matt Hoffman's a swell dude, aka the Magnum, and his friend Cody, who gave him the title of hardest server. That dude is the real Magnum. That dude cranks the ball. No offense, Matt, but really Cody definitely just has you edged on that powerful serve. That dude kills the ball. But it was awesome meeting and seeing everybody. A bunch of the Selkirk sponsored creators and pros and whatnot. Kyle Kazuda, that pickleball guy. All these people that I feel bad. I never like really watch any of their content, but I kind of like, I see them and know them. It was just cool to meet them and whatnot. I'm not a huge digester of pickleball content. I really just play and I don't really watch a ton of stuff, but it was just still cool to see all them. They were all super nice and fun, and that tournament was cool. Obviously, my left side, Daddy, Steven Majangus, took home the medal with Alex Weaver from the Dink, who's another cool dude that we finally got to meet. So just a bunch of stellar dudes, stellar ladies. It was just fun. I mean, really had a great time. And Coeur d'Alene, gosh, walked around the lake, walked around that floating boardwalk, unbelievable. Was just like the most serene, chill, calm atmosphere I've been around in a long, long time. So loved it. There's probably about 80 other things that I could talk about, but great trip overall, very insightful and very cool to see, the biggest company in, pickleball. So thank you to Selkirk for having us out there, man. We had a good time. Definitely
the overwhelming...
impressed.
Sorry.
Yeah, you're good.
You.
No, you're good.
My bad, dude.
I was just literally going to say very impressed.
Yeah, the overwhelming impression is in a way what you would expect, but getting to see it makes it real. That Selkirk, people probably would guess it's like the largest pickleball specific company, which I'm sure it is, right? But they are very clearly, when you see everything behind the scenes, they're just industry leading in every way.
Yeah.
Like, everything. their brick and mortar type sales, their online sales, their operations, their R&D, their development, like everything. They have, like you said, all the bases covered. There's no rock unturned, and it's really impressive for any business, not just a pickleball business. But given that the pickleball industry is pretty small and niche, and I guess they've been in it for 11 years, right? So they've had time to grow and lead the industry, but they truly are like industry leading. And you're like, oh, okay. So this is what it looks like at the top,
Yeah. Yep. It's just good that now they have paddles that are going to be, at the top of the industry. So
the direction is really good too.
Yeah.
Which we can't go into detail about, but
Yeah.
I would expect good things from them going forward.
Oh, last thing. I can't believe I forgot this. This is one of the coolest things I've ever done in pickleball. Me and Steven Majangas, we built a paddle from scratch. That was so freaking cool. We built like a little Lux from scratch, and they put it in the thermoforming press for us, then added the peel ply. It was so cool.
And we all got to build our own layups.
Yeah.
So
very fun, very unique.
Build custom paddles they weren't done, but we got to choose and build the layups and put it together. And then I think they're going to finish the paddles for us because it's a bit of a time-consuming process, actually getting them in and out of the press and everything.
Right.
And then they may send us those, if I understand correctly. So
yeah, that was so cool.
It was very fun.
All right, that's enough Selkirk. We'll move on to everybody's favorite segment, New Week, New Main, sponsored by Bodhi Pickleball. If you're looking for overgrips, if you're looking for edge guard tape, tungsten tape, sleeves, it's sleeve season, baby. If you're looking for t-shirts, apparel, bags, and many other pickleball accessories, you can save 15% at checkout with code PURSUIT at bodhipickleball.com. Thank you, Bodhi, for sponsoring New Week, New Main. I've been going through some grips lately, bro. We've been getting some paddles. So
it's been sweaty.
Rocking them grips. So, all right, man. New Week, New Main. I'll let you go first.
We got to try a lot of paddles this week, and we've been testing a lot of paddles, and I've been testing a lot of paddles. But look, dude, when I gotta perform my best, I'll just have to go back to the J2FC Plus.
Yep.
Every time. I don't even
every
want
time you
to.
pick it up. Yeah.
I don't even want to, but every time I go back to it, I'm like, I just immediately play so much better.
Yeah.
Man, this paddle is just really exceptionally good. And, again, very similar to the NF, just a bit of a softer, more pocketing feel. Mm-hmm. So with the long handle version coming of the NF, I might just move to that because that is my major complaint is the handle. But that's it. That's the only nitpick. Everything else about it has more than enough power, more than enough pop, more than enough spin, more than enough control. Very just intuitive to use and pick up. It's just damn good. So, and it's just for my preferences, I just play my best with it. It's like immediately obvious, we were switching through a lot of paddles, and then every time I switched it, I was like, oh yeah.
Oh, I forgot.
Which the GX2 power, by the way,
it's pretty good.
Like, it gave me that same feeling of switching through paddles, switch to it, and then was like, oh, okay, immediately easy to use, but still offered a lot of everything. So, look, that's arriving today. That might make a run for the new main. We'll see.
Yeah, that's a good
I'm not
one.
crazy about the idea that it breaks in, but we'll see.
Yeah. All right. Well, I played in a tournament last week with the Chorus Phoenix. So that was last week's new week, new main. And I spent a lot of time, a ton of time in Coeur d'Alene playing with a bunch of different paddles. Then went to Utah, Salt Lake City with my wife and played a bunch there and met up a bunch of really cool people. And the elevation, boy, oh boy, did I get used to that 5,000, feet above sea level coming down to virtually negative, negative elevation. And I tried to play with the GX2 yesterday, first time coming back in a drill session, play sesh, and could not get anything over the net. Like I was just like struggling. All my drops were short, all my resets were short, my serves were short. So guess what I had to do, man? God, I'm gonna sound like such a shill right now. I had to pick this up.
Oh my God.
I could not get over it, dude. So for the next 3 or 4 days, until the J2 NF long handle comes in, I'm going to be playing with the Selkirk paddle.
This, you guys see it, what a shill he is.
God, dude. But
they put you up in a hotel for 2 days.
Yeah, I know.
Show you some pretty stuff. No, I'm just kidding.
I know.
That's what everybody's thinking anyway, right?
Yeah, 100%. So, man, once I get used to the sea level feel again, I'm sure this will be way too much for my trash hands. So, boomstick.
For those listening, it's the boomstick. Yeah.
Selkirk Boomstik. Who would have thought? An elongated power paddle that is virtually the peak of power. So that really hurt to say. I'm not going to lie. Really hurt to say. Yeah, that hurt worse than the Selkirk era. Like being like, ooh, I really like this Selkirk era. Like this might be the best I've ever played with a paddle.
It's a good paddle. I mean, there's no shame in it. It's a very good paddle. Even if they just mailed them to us, I'm like confident in our objectivity. If we had just picked these up and didn't go on the trip, we would have been like, whoa, this is really good.
Yeah, so 100%. Yeah, it was one of those, you hit your first ball and you're like, whoa, this got some heat to it.
The sound is unique. Yeah. Also.
100%. All right. Yeah. So it's official. We're shills now. And we're going to be moving on to, we're going to be moving on to NERDTOWN, baby. Choo-choo.
Choo-choo.
We're talking about some good stuff this one.
Well, it's actually pretty simple, but it's not if you've never experienced it. So what you just said, we'll talk about how does elevation affect pickleball play. And
before we go too deep, I was like, there's no way, dude. I remember Steven, he lives in Provo, Utah, Steven Majangus, and he came down to Florida for the Nerdy Tourney, and he was like, oh my God, I can hit every ball as hard as I can, and it still is in. This is crazy. And he was missing drops left and right, because they were just short and whatnot with the humidity and whatnot. And I was like, dude, are you sure? I was like, you sure you're not just like tired from your flight or something like that? That's what I was thinking in my head. And then sure enough, bro, we went up to, I went to Salt Lake, and golly, dude.
So where we played was the time that you really noticed it was when we were playing in Lehigh, which is 4,500 feet above sea level. Mm-hmm. But we played in a couple spots up there that are between 4,500 and 5,000 feet. Yeah. And it is a significant difference. And the science, I guess, is pretty simple. Just because when you are at a higher elevation, the air is thinner. So there is less air resistance, meaning the ball flies through the air easier. Mm-hmm. There's less resistance on the ball. Not only that, but imagine a topspin shot when it's spinning this way, right? That's how you get the dip from the basically the air pressure variance around different parts of the ball. So as you topspin, it dips. As you slice, it kind of floats or skids, And when there is less air resistance, you also get less dip for the same amount of RPMs. So hit a 2,000 RPM drive in Louisiana, where let's just call it sea level, it is going to, number one, fly slower, but also dip harder. Now go to where we were playing in Utah. It doesn't dip as much, and it flies faster and further. So
it was challenging. And we were playing with a lifetime ball, too. That's another thing.
Oh, yeah. We're playing with a fairly fresh lifetime ball, which, for those of you who know, when they're brand new, they're rough. So, Lewis was hitting just everything long and high. Yeah. But we were hitting super hard, it felt like. People were even commenting on it. So, and, boom, playing with the boomstick a little bit. So, that's the major difference in elevation and how it affects. But if you're someone who only lives in one place and you only play in your one place, then you would never know and you just adapt. But if you're like us and you go from sea level, up to 4,500 feet or 4,500 feet, it's very noticeable. And it was just like on the drives, I literally, all I was thinking about was like, I wasn't even trying to hit hard. I was just like, how can I get as much spin as possible? And they would still go hard. It's like, oh my God. Yeah. So, and then the reverse happens. You come back, and then now that you've adjusted, we were there for quite a few days playing quite a bit. Lewis said he was like just dumping everything in the net. The ball plays heavier.
We're also playing with the Franklin,
it plays heavier.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, so it's like I went from, altitude plus like a pretty quick ball. I would say the Selkirk is like I'd say it's almost like Durafast, in terms of, power and, speed. And then going to sea level, super humid with a Franklin ball. Fortunately, it was indoor, so it wasn't, I didn't have the trifecta of humidity, heat, and sea level. But, whew, bruh, I could not figure it out. I was like, what the hell is going on? Couldn't get anything.
Humidity
I was
has
playing
a
with the
very
GX2.
slight effect also.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought it had a pretty big
that
effect.
being said, it's much smaller effect than the elevation.
Yeah.
But that being said, where we were in Utah, it's pretty dry.
Yeah.
And then when you the humidity, the moisture in the air can slightly penetrate the ball and make the ball basically feel and play a little heavier. But it's a small effect in comparison to altitude. But yeah, so you had the combo.
Yeah.
It was a high and dry there, and then low and humid.
Low
where
and
you
wet,
are.
baby.
So.
Yeah. Well, man. Yep. Can't believe Selkirk made a paddle this good. So it's kind of funny. Really like the new boomstick. I'm excited to play with the wide body when it comes in. Tons and tons of good paddles coming out, man. I cannot wait for the J2 and F long handle. Can't wait for that. That's probably the paddle I'm looking forward to the most. So yeah, man. Anything else before we sign off?
Well,
let's get out of here. For anybody who doesn't know, Justin is the king of when we're at a restaurant or we're out in public and he's ready to go. He'll hit you with the leg slap. Well, let's get out of here.
just a southern thing,
So
I do it to
good.
be goofy, but it does work. People just always overstay, and then everyone's making like awkward small talk.
Yeah.
No one just is like honest enough to leave. Instead of the Irish goodbye, get up and leave. You can make the whole group leave if you just go, well,
let's get
and
on
then
out of here.
everyone starts gathering their stuff. It just
works.
happens immediately. So.
It works 100% of the time. Next time you're in a public place and you're ready to leave, hit him with the whelp. It's kind of one of those. It's like not rude, but also like pretty. Like, hey, let's get out of here.
Rude.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
it's good stuff. Well, this is episode 49 of the Pickleball Pursuit podcast. I'm your host, Lewis, here with my co-host, Justin from Pickleball, etc. If you guys have any topics, questions, things that you want us to cover in future episodes, hit that in the comment section below. Until next time, we'll see you guys soon. Peace.